Hello from the Dreamport Discord server. I'm ShadowsPub bringing you Pimp Your Post Thursday. On the show today, we'll share posts, meet others, and have some fun. You can share your own post or someone else's you really like. To take part, drop the PYPT emoji into the show text channel. I'll add you to the list to take a turn sharing posts. When I call on you, add your post link to the text channel and come on voice to tell us about it. Keep it brief, like a short commercial for the post. If you can't do voice, it's okay, you can share by text, but text and the link must be ready to paste into the text channel when I call on you. You can have more than one turn, but you must use the emoji for each turn. Okay, and let's get started. And Greg is going to lead us off today.
Yep, howdy. Yeah, I haven't posted anything for a little while. I haven't been in Dreamport for a little while either, but I decided to do a post about it's a kind of about communication and when people say, I know exactly how you feel, and how that can be well intended and well meaning, but miss the mark, and can be dismissive. So it's about kind of communication and stuff like that. Maybe check it out, see if it rings any bells for you or whatever. So yeah,
Oh, I bet you really like the days that they go, I know exactly how you feel, and then proceed to tell you how they know.
yeah, I've got this one friend, and I don't I don't know why I'm still a friend, but I sometimes I've shared, I'm kind of struggling, and this is what's happening or whatever, and yeah, I know exactly how you feel, and well, actually, no, no, you don't, So it can be well intended, but there's better ways, and it talked about listening. Listening's a really hard skill. I'm very guilty of it too, and oftentimes we're taught to listen to respond. We want to come back and say, "Oh yeah, I know that feels," or "I remember a time when," but it shifts the attention, and we can miss what's being said. So yeah, check it out, see what you think. Yeah,
Yeah, we do
right,
sometimes have that tendency to be so busy formulating a response that we don't actually hear what's being said.
right. What did you say? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. You weren't listening at all, were you?
But then there's
I know
those
exactly what
narrows.
you mean.
My husband's narrow spicy, I call him. And part of him showing that he understands and is commiserating, he'll share his experience that's similar. Doesn't mean he doesn't care. It's just how he shows he cares, which it's hard to tell the difference, isn't it?
I think
Yeah, often.
there's
Sorry,
a
yeah. So I'm sorry, Shadow.
there's a difference in how they do that. They can go, yeah, I think I know what you mean, and go off and tell their own story, or they can wait for the person to finish speaking and then share their story.
Oh, yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, you could say, do you just need to talk, or would you like my input? So, this is what I hear you saying, or I can't imagine how that must feel, or there's lots of other ways, but it's not easy, and it kind of doesn't come naturally because we are taught to respond, and oftentimes we think we're being empathetic, but maybe not, So anyway, yeah.
Good subject.
I would
What
like to.
part? Sorry, go ahead, Alexander.
I just wanted to say something about this post that Greg has done. It is so readable, but it is also beautifully resourced. So, let me just say, do read the post, and Kitty Girl Shadows. You can tell me if there is a post that you want to make sure that you never lose track of it. Like, is there a way to pin it or something so that you can get to it easily? And
If
and
you
I
use the Peak D front end, there's a bookmark
okay.
icon up near the top of the post, and if you click it, you
Ah,
can get back to it quickly and easily.
well, I would recommend bookmarking this, and let me tell you why. Um, if you have a thing going on in your life or one of your relationships, and it feels a little crazy and kind of like the energy kind of makes you feel bad about yourself, like I would recommend that a beautiful mental health hack could be just to look at this post. The way it's formatted is like you find what you need immediately. I don't know how Greg did it, but he did a great job of formatting. And so you can just be like, okay, this person's kind of making me crazy and I'm feeling bad about myself because of the interactions with them. Is it me just being overly sensitive? Is it me being gaslit? Like, I was able to like take this thing that's bugging the hell out of me right now. And when I read his post, I was like, oh, that thing is part of what's happening. Oh, this other thing is part of what's happening. Oh, this other thing is part of what's happening. No wonder I feel like poo poo any anytime I interact with this person. So I'm just saying it is worth a bookmark. But you choose for yourself, give it a read, and see what you think. Greg, I just have to thank you from the bottom of my heart for writing it.
Wow, I'm speechless. I really am. I'm glad it resonated. Thank you.
So I'm curious, Greg, and you don't have to share if you don't want to. What sparked this subject today on this post?
I, you know, it's been brewing for a minute, but I shared with a friend, and I said, sometimes I feel lonely. I don't have family here in the States, just my two kids, and they don't talk to me. And sometimes I get a bit homesick, and I've been feeling a bit down. And they said, I know exactly how you feel. I'm like, well, no, you don't. Your son lives with you. You've got family. You see your grandkids, and it just shifts the focus. And that's happened a few times. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to kind of post about that. And I do a couple of support groups. I host a couple of support groups. Um, and, it came up in conversation with in there as well. And it's just something that, I'm guilty of as well. I try to get better, but sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or could I have said that better? And so it's an interesting topic, and I like communication and communication styles, and I just thought, you know what, maybe I'll kind of dig into it a little bit and post something.
Good plan. Well done. I see we have Wandering Moon and Dreams Team has joined us. We've been missing both of them for a while, so good to see us. Hey,
Yeah.
Luke. And Luchelle, you're up.
She must have had connection issues. She's dropped out of voice.
Okay, well, we'll leave her up there and see if she gets back. Bookerman, you're up.
All right, have to mute or unmute real quick. Let's see if I can get this posted in here. Bear with
Wickerman,
me if my.
since
Oh,
you're
can you hear me?
driving, if you want me to drop it, I'll do that.
He's got it.
Oh, I got it in there already. I appreciate it.
We're
And
not
if
even
my
asking how he's
sound
pulling
drops
this
out,
off. Go for it, Bookerman.
yeah, we don't ask questions about that. Uh, but this post right here is actually from a new person that I just onboarded onto Hive. He is a car mechanic, a mobile mechanic. I've been talking to him about Hive and explaining it to him for a little bit here. He has a username Dusty Repairs. He made his first post where he replaced a seat joint for I believe it was a Ford Edge, and he does a nice little job kind of walking through how to do that type of replacement, what kind of cost that would be for yourself or for a shop. And I thought it was very informative, and I was kind of surprised there's not a ton of mechanics on Hive, but this is just one of the people that we recently onboarded. So check it out if that interests you.
Well, if Artemis's and I's brothers are any indication, some mechanics really don't want to get into writing or using tech any more than they have to. But then our bros are a little older too.
Yeah, I did. I was interested in seeing with this new onboard how he actually prefers this over like doing a video tutorial. He thought that just taking some pictures or having one of his helpers take some pictures as he does it, and then sitting down and just writing down kind of a little breakdown. He feels that's easier than trying to do a video in the moment because he's trying to focus on the repair, but then he's also trying to be entertaining and informative in the moment in the video. So he found this to be greatly helpful.
The other aspect of that from a consumer point of view is that if he's done a tutorial like this where you've got the pictures, if you're trying to do this yourself, you can go back and look at the picture and you can kind of study it and sort it out. If it's on a video, you got to go find the right frame.
Yeah, that's very true. I can see that being beneficial too. So I'm excited. I hope he gets some more posts in. I think he just did another repair, and he's working on another post. And then I think he was going to do an introduction post too. So trying to get over that 3 post hump.
Well, here's hoping. He looks like he's done a good job there.
I wonder if he's the same Dusty from YouTube.
Is there, well, is he on YouTube, Bookerman?
I'm not exactly sure. I know he was talking about there was a YouTube video or a channel that he was either doing or planning on doing. So I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to talk with him when I get back next week.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. I don't see Luchelle back yet. And Kitty Girl, you're up.
We have some amazingly driven people on Hive, such as this young lady who wrote a post about camping in a van in the Caucasus Mountains in the snow. um, it looks like it's so cold there. There's some beautiful mountain scenery, though. She went there partly because she wanted to do some camping in the snow. I'm not really sure why. I guess just for the adventure. But she does do snowboarding. And I think one of the coolest pictures in the post, I'll drop it in chat so everyone can see it. It's if you click on the picture to zoom into it, you see all these little intricate, beautiful, swirly trails, and that's her snowboard tracks. I don't know if she made this picture with a drone or if she climbed up at the peak and was making a picture looking down, but it's just incredibly beautiful. And she used her snowboard to stand on while she showered outside so she
Ooh.
wouldn't be standing knee deep in the snow. I mean, this girl is indeed hardcore, like Greg said.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
And she managed to find a parking lot somewhere that she said she had a good internet connection. I don't know if she has satellite internet or if she just happened to be within the reach of some cell tower, but she said there was a hostel nearby if she had to go for a hot shower, but she seems to have made it. And I think another, she said she appreciated somebody else giving her a hot shower at one point. I don't know if that was another camper or if maybe she did go to the hostel. I don't know. But anyway, um, this was quite an experience. And it just amazes me the people on Hive, the things that they do. But this is a post that was made in the World Map Pin community, and I wanted to remind everybody if you've got a location that you think is worthy of pinning to the map, you can go to worldmappin.com. You can zoom in on the location where you were, click the map, get the code, paste it in your post, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I can remember my younger days enjoying some hikes in the winter and, building a little fire to warm up with. But yeah, 3 weeks in the snow? No thanks.
Yeah, I think I would pass on that too.
Yeah. All right. Yes, you never know what you're going to find on Hive. That is for sure. And Alexandra, you are up.
Well, hi everybody, and happy Pimp Your Post Thursday. So there was a lot of energy in her post. And what was her name again? What was her hive name again? Kitty girl.
It's XSASJ. Not a real easy one to remember.
But I mean, she looked like like a little happy cold camper. It was so good. Yeah. So this is a post of our friend Steve C. And it was a near miss. This is last weekend's gig that he played. He was going to go back to that town where we almost ran into each other, and we would have if we had each known that we were both in this small medieval historic town of Hitchin. I was there on what was a big deal concert for me, and he was there on a gig, and I cried when I found out that we were in the same tiny place, but we were missing each other. Apparently, the universe did not have it in its plan that we would see each other, but oh, wouldn't that have been wonderful? But he has in his profile on Hive, on Steve C's, you know, part of what he writes in his very brief description is that he's not the only Hivian in his village. And in this post, he writes about his friend Bob and his friend and Hivian, Danielle Murray. And she is Danielle Murray on Hive. And she is also a clarinetist. Now, she and I have never met, we've never played together, but this post is about being in a little town last weekend where they had a gig that was kind of a Plan B gig, and this post is about what happened. And you can see in the thumbnail of the post, you can see all of these reed instruments. If you're looking at the thumbnail, you can see that on the far left, that's a clarinet, and in front of that, in the foreground, is a recorder. And I'm not completely sure. That could be a tenor or a bass recorder that's there in the middle. And then on the end, what looks like a teeny tiny clarinet is actually a piccolo. Anyway, so they had a wonderful time, and so this is not as text heavy as some of Steve C's posts are, because he did a really beautiful job of uploading the video of the gig, of uploading part of that over onto ThreeSpeak and creating um, a beautiful post out of it. So I hope that you give it a listen and a little read and a little love. Thank you. The end.
So I'm
Yep,
guessing
and hi,
that's a
Dreamy.
beer bottle there between a couple of them. And, some people use that as a wind instrument.
I love that, Shadows.
Just a,
I love
just
that.
a
I
thought.
love that. I love that.
And now that Abdul Qudus is in the room, I can take the server mute off him. And Abdul Qudus, you're up. There we go.
Okay, good day everyone. So this is a post I made to the Hive Learners community, and the prompt is all about literacy. So what's the impact of literacy in our existence? Like, does it kind of make us good people, or it just kind of define our character or our behaviors? So I made an example of someone I met when I was learning at my boss side. I was having a training there. So I almost underrated the person. So, but meanwhile, the person was worth more than I imagined. So, it's not really about the literacy skill or being an illiterate that matters, but it's about the personal um, character of that person. So, literacy is just like something that's going to shape our directions. So, that is, you can check out more in the post. Thank you.
So there's different kinds of literacy, isn't there, Abdul Qudus?
Yeah, but the common one I kind of know is going to school, being educated. So there are other kind of literacy skills also, like maybe being in a workmanship or acquiring some skills, another kind of literacy too. So,
Yeah,
but the common one is just being educated. So people see that when you're educated, you should possess some kind of qualities. So automatically, and it's not like that. So you might be educated and not have that kind of charisma in you.
very true. We'll get you to
Mm.
mute today so that I don't have to server mute you in case things
Yeah,
get noisy there.
I'm going to mute it. I'm going to no music today. Thank
Thank you.
you. All right.
Artemis, you are up.
Well, today's echo from Shadows Pub is a really good one. Learning to laugh even at yourself and going easy on yourself when you make a mistake and learning from it. I think this is something we could all use a refresher on.
Yeah, sometimes we forget.
It's so easy to be hard on yourself.
It is. And some people think they have to be hard on themselves for self awareness and reflection. And sometimes you can laugh at yourself and still become more self aware. And Bitter Irony claims bragging rights on this. He guessed the word in one guess this morning.
Oh, excellent.
So he has bragging rights on that one. Bipolar, you are up. Bipolar? There she is. I see her typing. Well, she was typing. Come back to us, Bipolar. Probably wanted to get the link. Hmm. Where in the world is Bipolar?
Okay, I went to copy something and oh wait, I remember to do something. Please hold on, let me just type the link. I
Okay.
copied something and the link wiped, and then I remembered I can always get it from my clipboard. And here we go.
There you go.
Okay, so this post is about being educated and being literate or being an illiterate. So they're asking if education, if being learned is supposed to make you a better person or not. And it's the same post that, the same prompt rather, that Abdikudos just spoke about. And it says something that education is not supposed to make you a better person. So I am going to take off my own argument from there. First of all, um, we've lost what education is supposed to mean. Most of the time, people think being educated is just to have the certificate or the degree, or just to be in a formal setting like a school. But actually, being educated could be from the home, could be informal, could be just walking on the street, going to church, anything that improves your knowledge, enlightens you, and make you see life from a different perspective than the norm. So you can be an illiterate, you can't read, you can't write, but you are educated, you are enlightened. There are certain things that you see and you say, oh, I'm not going to do this because of so and so principle, due to others, what you want them to be done to you. And then um, you can be literate, you can have all the degrees in the world, you can read, you can write, you can speak big grammar. According to what Kingsley said when I read his post, he said the most wicked set of people that he has ever met in his life are the literate ones, the ones that went to school. And then when I read his experience, I laughed a lot about how a lady that is supposed to be educated poisoned some chickens because she claimed they were disturbing her. So, but when you look at what education is supposed to mean, which is a refinement of character and training of the mind to think, that lady is not educated. She's an uneducated literate. So, that's just basically what I wrote about, sharing my own experiences too. So you can please check it out for more details. I didn't steal your shine. Get out. So I'm done.
Thank you, Bipolar. And Q, you didn't
You're
steal
welcome.
anybody's shine. That's the beauty of these challenges is everybody's going to write from a different perspective. So we have two
No man
perspectives
has been.
on the prompt.
Yes, exactly.
Can you argue? Of course you can argue. What are you going to argue?
Argument.
By the way, I will warn you, Q. Um, Bipolar is not afraid of having opinions, so be careful on your argue.
Okay, okay, I keep my arguments here. I'm not at it. No problem.
He's going to play it safe. That's the beauty of opinions. Everybody has the right to argue as long as we remember we're arguing about opinions.
Yeah, just like we should maintain the thin, very thin line between arguments and quarrel.
True. If we keep it respectful, we can usually avoid quarrel.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, Bipolar and Q. And Wandering Moon, you're up. I think she's with us. There she is.
Sorry,
Just
here.
unmuted.
Yeah, perfect timing too, because I just got done pouring myself something to eat after washing my bowl.
Well, there we go.
Um, this is a writer. I'm not sure if I really follow him, but I like his writing. And this is about a project he's been working on recently. I believe we something in this project was partially mentioned yesterday, talking about the getting information for diesel pools. And so he has included diesel pools in the information that is pulled somehow. But if you go read the article, you might understand it better. It sounds really interesting, and I will be checking it out.
Dashboard and portfolio metrics. Ah, so this is something new that's being introduced into Hive.
Yes, I saw that he wrote another piece on it about 11 days ago. So I don't know if it's something it's only been worked on for 11 days or if he's been working on it for longer than that.
Odds are he's working on it for a while and then decided to take it public 11 days ago.
But he is a good writer, and I recommend reading other pieces by him as well.
I know that name from somewhere. I think he's been around for a while. All right. Thank you, Wonder Moon. Who's won the first draw? That would be Bipolar has won the 1 HPI. And Bookerman, you are up.
All right. So this next post I'm sharing with you guys, this is from the Woo official post, the wrestling organization online. This is a major update when it comes to our consumables, um, which were purchased by the community a few months back, and this is adding even more ability to these NFT items. We also talked about our DHF proposal, which I believe the proposal goes until the 26th. So if you haven't given support to that proposal, please feel free to look through the proposal and give support if you deem it fit for your support. And then we also talked about the upcoming videos with Perry Saturn, and also we are giving away 3 million Woo. You can make yourself a Woo millionaire. Just go ahead and play the Wrestling Organization online game and post post about your match. Information is in the Discord and also in that post. So yeah, very easy to win. Go check it out.
All right. Had a lot of information in that post, so yeah, check it out. Lots of stuff to learn about. And Perry Saturn speaks. We've heard about him yet already today.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the upcoming videos we're doing. As I stated earlier, they are going to be sponsored by Hive with a little 30-second commercial in the middle of the video, and we're also going to always, as always, have our little tag at the end, powered by Hive, brought to you by Wrestling Organization Online.
Nice. All right. Lucielle is back. And she's up. And you're coming in hot now because we've caught you just as you get into the channel. There she is. All right, Lucielle, tell us about this.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Sorry, I was on call with a friend, and that's why. But I'm back now. How
Well,
are you doing,
that's better than
Shadow?
having connection issues.
Yeah, no, it's not connection. So this is the post I made. The Amazing Drinks community. It's I called it 4 fruity flavored drink because I made it with 4 different fruits and it was simply delicious. Like I couldn't have enough of it. It's just that it was just small, but at least I enjoyed it. Yes. So if you want to know the recipe, everything about the drink, please check the post. I bet you will love it. And if you try it one of these days, please do tag me so that I will know. Thank you.
So it says 15 cl of water. What's a cl?
Centiliter.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I've heard of liters, but I've never seen, and milliliters, but I've never seen it broke to centiliters. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
we use centiliter here, especially for bottled water.
Oh, interesting.
Yes,
There is
yes.
some unusual ingredients in that drink, but they make sense when you think about them.
There's no usual ingredients. It's just banana, the cucumber, the. What? I'm spilling the beans already. No, I'm not.
I
What?
noticed. I said it without spilling the beans, but
You're
no, you just go ahead
leading
and
me
spill
on.
the beans.
You're leading me on that.
I didn't spill the beans and I didn't ask you to. I set up the intrigue by saying there's unusual ingredients in that. The idea was to get people to go and look and see what those unusual ingredients are.
Because I just spilled two, so there are still two left. So let them go check it
Exactly.
out.
Good plan. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luchelle. And Artemis, you're up. Now's a good time to drop some emojis, folks.
This is a post by Shani Beer, and she's part of the Saturday Savers Club. So she was thinking about doing, how you'll do a no buy month, where of course you do your necessities and pay your bills, but then you have to be really careful with what you're allowed to buy. And then she thought, well, how can I do that and make it a healthy, like a heart healthy no buy month? So what she did was she broke down what she needed and looked other people for some inspiration, which she shared with us, and then broke it down to 30 foods that she needed to keep herself healthy for the month. And actually, it's really neat reading about it. I love the way that she's put in the nutritional information too. I
Right?
think I might do it myself.
75 grams of protein and 50 of fiber. That takes a bit of work to get 50 of fiber.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Plant based foods. It could be an interesting challenge. Although mine would have meat.
Well, mine would too,
Yeah,
but maybe not as much because it's pretty expensive.
it is. That's true. Although if you use smaller amounts of meat and then added protein rich plant based items, it would balance out.
With my vegetarian grandson living in the house, he's, um, I guess you could say, spurred or, oh, brain fart the word. I've been using more tofu and whatnot in our meals
Mm-hmm.
just so that I can make one thing for everybody. And it's fun. You can get a little more creative and learn different things.
Oh, you're much more creative with food than I am. All right.
Only because I have picky kids.
Well, this is true. I haven't quite warmed up to tofu. I may play with it more.
Here's a tip that I would never have thought of, and if anyone else is interested in using tofu, I used to always press it, but then this woman who's a nutritionist said, boil it in salt water because the water will come out of the tofu and adhere to the salt molecules. And it actually, I don't know if I explained it properly, but it works.
See, the logic says that if you're boiling it in any water, that it would just put more water into it.
Well, actually, I said that wrong. You boil water and you add a bunch of salt to it, and then you pour it over the tofu. And you want to chunk up your cut it or cube it or break it apart. And it really does take the moisture out of the tofu. I would never have thought.
Interesting. Well, yeah, salt picks up moisture, so I guess that does make a certain amount of sense then. Because really, you're just pouring it off over to get the salt on it, and then off the tofu.
Hmm.
So if you throw
One of
some
the really cool
garlic,
things about tofu. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shadow.
I was just wondering if you threw something like garlic into the water, would that transfer into the tofu?
Well, usually when I don't know about other people, I don't care for it plain, so I always have a marinade, and that's when I put the flavor back in. So I have
Mm,
chopped up garlic and usually some ginger or whatever flavor profile we feel like.
I may try again. What were you gonna say, Kitty girl?
Well, funny thing, I was about to say something similar to what you had said. Tofu is one of those foods that takes on the flavors of the other foods that's cooked in. So yeah, the garlic would transfer to the tofu, as would, a bunch of other different flavors as well.
So if I use beef broth, I might be able to call it steak.
Actually, if you add you do your marinade, drain it, and then add some cornstarch, which sounds really odd. And then you spray a little whatever type of oil you're using, but not a lot, and put it in the air fryer. You get a flavorful, crispy bite. And if you use the right flavor profile, you can make it taste like steak.
Hmm. I may experiment. Alexander's sitting there thinking, I need to check my steak next time I have it.
As long as it's not preparing it.
Yes, Alexander loves preparing food if she can
Oh
watch
my
it.
God. I'll do the dishes. I'll take out the trash. Please don't make me do that.
What's in the crock pot today?
Oh, I think what's in the crock pot today, like, okay, so here's a thing that we were discussing last night. So we had the rice and the veggies come out of the crock pot. So if you want to add something to the mix on a second day, do you put everything back in the crock pot and then add that, or do you take what you want to add and put that in the crock pot and then mix it together? What's the consensus?
Depends what you're wanting to add. If what you're wanting to add takes some cooking, you'll want to do it first and then add the rest in just to bring the flavors together and heat it up.
Okay, all right, all right. I'll pass that along.
Okay. All right. Kitty girl, you're up.
Talking about Alessandra in the kitchen not wanting to cook. I remember a comedian once years ago who said, "The best thing my wife makes for dinner is reservations."
That could give a person such confidence about their cooking.
I like that.
Okay, this is a post from our friend Solo Miner, who I was hoping might be in the chat today so he could talk a little more about this. But he does a lot of work on his homestead farm, and he said there are tiny little flies called gnats that are attracted to the mucous membranes, like our eyes and our mouths and our nose, and they really bother him when he's out working. And he found this net that can go over your head. It's a very fine mesh net that will keep the gnats out of your eyes and such. And I thought this was such a great solution. It reminds me a little bit of the nets that beekeepers wear, but it's a very finer, thinner um, mesh. And it's a perfect solution for people that do a lot of work outdoors, gardening or whatever. So I just thought it would be worth passing on in case anybody else is interested.
I wonder if the gnats are very similar to the black flies that we get up here that usually come out in May just ahead of the mosquitoes.
It very well could be. I'm not familiar with what you've got there, but they are tiny little black insects. They're like miniature flies. Yeah, tiny, tiny little specks. And they're very, very annoying.
Well, these are not only annoying, they take little chunks out of you.
Oh, that sounds a lot like what we call down here that are we call them no-see-ums because they're so tiny you can't see, but man, they've got a powerful bite.
Yep.
And they're even tinier than the gnats are. Yeah, the gnats are a little bit bigger. You can see them.
Yes, one of the nice things about the June bugs coming out is that they generally will eat the black flies.
Oh, I didn't know that. Very cool.
Nature's balance.
Well, and this would also be a good thing to have over your head, I guess, when the June bugs are out. It would also be effective for mosquitoes. In fact, that's what it was really made to be, was a mosquito netting.
Yeah, I
But
noticed
yeah,
the
very,
packaging down there.
yeah, that's so cool that it comes in its own little case so you can pack it up and store it away safely.
Pretty
Because
cool.
if you just toss the net in the drawer as is, it might get torn or something. But putting it back in its little case, it'll keep it safe and protect it.
Nice little bits of tech around. Low type tech. Go for it, kitty girl.
Well, I can wait a minute if you want to see if anyone else wants to drop another emoji.
Anyone else got anything they'd like to share? Come on, don't everybody jump in at once.
I have a question about posting because we're
Hosting or
setting up
posting?
posting
Okay.
for posting. Okay, so if you're in peak D and you want to get a post going, like, isn't it a thing early in the process that you choose what community that you're going to post into?
You can, or if you get down to the end and go, oh, I forgot to choose a community, you can go back up and choose it then. You can choose it at any point.
Okay, and what is the importance of choosing a community in which to post your post?
Well, from my point of view, it isn't really all that important. It does kind of give it a place to land, but you could just simply put it directly on your blog. It just depends how much traffic comes to your blog.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Okay.
your input there, Kitty Girl?
Well, the communities were really created for us to be able to network with like minded people. So if you're writing a gardening post and you post it to the Hive Gardeners community, you know other gardeners are going to see it and will probably give you some upvotes, comments. If you just put it on your blog, only that that post will only be seen if one of the Hive Gardeners is following you or reblogs the post. So it can get a little more eyes on your post, but there's some people that they think every single post has got to be in a community. And like Shadow said, putting it on your blog is really good in a lot of cases, especially if there's not a community that on Hive that matches the content of your post. Because a lot of people get their posts muted in communities because they don't read the rules and they'll just post it anywhere. So always read the rules of any community you post in. Some do not accept cross posts. Some will not accept content if there isn't a photo in it. Some will not accept a post if it's not in English, and so forth and so on. Each community has its own rules, so double check that before you use a community.
Okay. Thank you. And then once the recording is off, I'm going to ask another technical question. So
Gotcha.
I won't bore anybody now. I'll bore you later.
Okay, Kitty Girl, go for it.
Well, I just wanted to share this post from our hostess Shadows Pub and remind everyone that every time we have a Pimp Your Post Thursday, the following Monday, she posts the recording on her blog, and it's a great way to go back and review the posts that were shared, especially if you missed the show or missed part of the show. You can catch up. It's also a wonderful compilation of all of the posts that were shared, so you don't have to scroll back and back and back through this chat to find it. It's all contained in a wonderful little place there on her post. And it's fun to go back and listen to the recordings again. And you might think a couple of days later, well, now, what was that Alessandra said about so and so? You can go back and listen to the recording and refresh your brain. It's a wonderful thing. So thank you for doing the recording shadows and making them available for us.
And thank you
Yeah,
for the
well
people that
done,
listen
lady.
to it. Sorry, go ahead, Alessandra.
Oh, I was just applauding what Kitty Girl said and to say kudos for doing that so consistently for 8 years.
Wandering Moon won the NFT. That isn't often that comes up. Well, the NFT does, but Wandering Moon winning it. All right. Anybody else got anything else they'd like to share? Okay. You've been listening to Shadows Pub host Pimp Your Post Thursday. Thank you for joining us on PYPT and join us next Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Until then, keep on creating, and it's all about community. Oh, yeah, don't forget. Bye, Wilma.
Bye, Wilma.